For today's video, we're going to be doing shaping, and you will be learning Almond, Stiletto, Square, Tapered Square, and Coffin. Okay, so for the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting this down. Wow. Is this good for this? I got these at the Dollar Tree. I think these are good to remove stones, not on an actual person. So maybe the Dollar Tree, these are okay for these fake hands or to remove stones. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove the free edge and like shape it up a little bit with a 100-180 grit file. And the one that's more coarse is the back side. You see it's more grittier and this side is softer, so it's higher grit. So it means, I guess, there's more grits in them to make it more softer. So I'm gonna actually, for this fake hand, I'm gonna use the more grittier side. If it was my hand or a natural nail person's hand or nails, I would use the softer side, but preference is yours. I'm gonna use the 100 grit part for this fake hand. You can find this hand on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description. If you're interested, it's in the box below. Look for where it says description box. I started the filing process, and you wanna straighten this out a little bit because we're gonna be adding the tips. So in order to add the tips, we gotta make sure these are ready to go and they are nice and prepped. Alright, so now that we removed the free edge, we're going to go ahead and take our drill. And this one is by Melody Susie. Link will be in the description box. And I have a promo code for Melody Susie as well. Alright, so I'm going to turn on the machine. Love it. And it's very, very soft and silent. And it doesn't have, literally, I don't feel any vibration. Like, it's very, 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 very minimal. All right, so let's go on number 3. Hopefully that's not too much. I have it on an arbor band, and we're gonna remove all that shininess. And you're gonna remove the shine on a natural nail because this is what's gonna help remove all of that glossiness. In order for a product to adhere, it has to be very, very dry and remove all of that smoothness from the nail so it can grasp onto all those rough edges. If this is a person, you want to find the lightest amount possible from the drill. You want to put it on the lightest rotation so that you're not harming a person or yourself. But this is a fake hand, so do what you gotta do with it. If you want to be a little bit rougher, it's alright. Keep it flat on the nail. You keep your hand flat so you're not harming people or anyone or yourself. If you were to do this, you're cutting like that right onto their natural nail plate. Look, that's scary. So if that's happening, like, be careful. Keep it flat as possible. And we're gonna go ahead and add the tips. These are the 2 tips that I'm using. I get these from my local nail supplies. I don't know if I can find this online somewhere. If I do find it, I'll leave a link. If I can't, I'm sorry, but I do get it here in Palm Beach. I think it's in Okeechobee. It's called L&D Nail Supply if you guys are in the area. And for this one, I get on Amazon. I'll leave the link for that one, or this one will be in my Amazon storefront. And this is site Lenavi. I don't know. I can never say that, but that's what it's called, or that's what it's called. So yeah. So let me dust some of this off with a little brush. Dollar Tree, guys. You will be shocked at what's there. Okay, for sure, I'm going to use this one, these tips on all the other shape except for, let's see, except for, I'm gonna use this just for tapered squares. I think the tapered square I'll show you actually on the pointer. Just so you know, sometimes it's hard to stick the tips onto the fake hand. I have a mask on. I hope you guys can hear what I'm saying. All right, so for the thumb, let's go ahead and get a big old number. Let me see, probably 0. Let's see. I love this hand because you could just pull it forward and back, up and down as much as you want to. Yeah, for this one, just because, actually no, let's do a 1. It's gonna say 0. So let's add a 0 to this one, to the thumb. And we're gonna press it down hard, kind of pressing downwards with these. And like I said, sometimes they're not gonna wanna adhere, but we're gonna make it work. For some reason, this one's adhering. We must have removed a good amount of the shine, but we'll see with the other ones. All right, so for this one, we forgot. Oh my gosh, I always do this. I even do this on my clients. Okay, so this one, you guys, is gonna be tapered square. There's no way that we can make a tapered square with a nail like this because of the fact that the nail is curving. You see that? With these are straight. So in order for it to be a tapered square, you're gonna wanna get an actual, let me see which one will fit. This one is a 2 and this one is a 3. Let's see which one fits better. So we're gonna remove this because that's too not crooked, but that is too curved for what we're trying to do. With that dust, that's important. Let's go with the 3. Yeah, that's gonna be perfect, right? Okay. This one was way too big. It's going off the sides way too much. Look at that, okay? Goes on the sides properly. Now, because this has the more clear a tip is, sometimes it's scary because they will not stick. It's like they're too glossy, which is good for transparency, but like when you're trying to add a tip on, it can be a bit of a problem even with a person. So let's make sure we can remove some of that glossiness, get it mattified as much as possible. So I removed some of that shininess off the tip because I really don't think it's gonna stick on there if I don't do that. The glue, where we removed that shine. Okay, now let's see if it'll stick a lot better. And we're adding that little well part right there, a little bit at the bottom of the nail, which I would consider the free edge. We're holding it down for 10 to 15 seconds at least. Okay, so far we got the nail where we're gonna do the square, the tapered square. We're gonna do a regular square, a stiletto, a coffin, and an almond. In whatever order, we'll see. Okay, so for the first hand, I have this tip cutter and these magnets from Amazon. This is what I use to measure out the size. So for today, I think we're gonna use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 magnets. That's actually how many magnets I have on this set. If you wanna see how I did my own acrylics, I do have a video, I'll link up there. So to make them all the same size, that's what I do. So that's gonna be a square, tapered square, stiletto. This one will make a coffin, and this one will make an almond. Okay, let's start shaping the square first. Okay, so for the square, I am going to start at the bottom. And I'm flat as possible. Because the tips already come square, this is one of the easiest shapes to do. So now that the bottom is done, we have it straightened out, right? For us, we have it straightened out as much as possible. I do like to take this file and not just leave it like this, but kind of turn it upwards a little bit to clean up that nail a lot better. So now it looks more square. So we're gonna do the side next because some of that is overlapping on the side. So we're gonna keep it straight. And I'm just checking. Then we're gonna do the opposite side straight. far that's what that looks like. I see this changing a little, so I wanted to clean this up at the bottom. Because now that I had removed some parts of the nail, I started seeing this part change a little bit. So now I'm just making sure I like what I see. The bottom is evened out. The sides are evened down. We don't want to keep going too much to the sides because then it turns into a coffin. There is a little bit there, but that's all right. It'll get removed at the end anyway. So that is the square shaped. Okay, there we go. All right, so that is the square. That's how it ended up. Okay. Now we're gonna do the next one. This is a tapered square. So we already cut it into size. So for me, I'm straightening out their hand because we really gotta be very straight here. Even their body has to be straight. Make sure if they're turning in a chair, tell them to stay straight so their nails could be straight. All right, so to make a tapered square, you want to make sure that you're straightening out the bottom first. That's my way to do it. Everybody makes their own technique, but I'm showing you my way right now. So make sure you face the nail up a little bit so that we can remove that curvature a little bit right there. So far this is what it looks like, and then you're gonna start taking your file, and make sure before you start, if you are working on a person or yourself, you take another file or a buffer and you remove that sharpness because you can cut somebody. All right, so far we did the bottom. Let's do the sides and then do the other side. We don't want to remove too much because these are supposed to be tapered square, right? So you want to make sure that you're removing the tip from that part right there and this part, and that you're not just focused on that area, that you're also focused on this part to align it so that it looks straight forward. Turn it this way. This is what I used to do on my client, and then I would see that this side is coming down a little, so I would remove some of that, not focusing too much thereafter because there was already some removed. So you focus on here, and it needs a little bit more removal, but you see how it's coming out straighter now, and that's what that looks like. I'm gonna reverse the hand, pull them forward, because now you can see if you go like this is their view, what they're going to be looking at. So what I like to do is take the file and start shaving down that top part a little bit like that, and it straightens it out even more. You see that? And we got our tapered square. So yeah, remember this is the part where I focus on shaving that part down, and you look at the curvature. And always ask, if you are actually working on a client, make sure they actually like what you're doing, what kind of square this is, because sometimes I would go to this point and they would say, oh, it's curving, it's going in a little too much. So they don't really want tapered square, they want a regular square like this. You know what I'm saying? So if they don't want it too sharp, ask, say, do you want me to at the end? It's gonna be sharp now, but at the end I can remove that sharpness from the edges. Not everyone likes them tapered square and crisp like that, which is okay. Everybody has a preference for their own reasons, their own lifestyle. But that's how I do the tapered square. All right, so now I'm gonna show you guys how to do a stiletto. A stiletto is really easy to me. I don't know why, it's just the easiest thing to me. You literally are taking a pair of scissors like this. I would leave the link down below. Make it easy for you guys to find these things. So you don't want to go right in the middle because that's gonna be where the sharpness is. You want to just make sure you're removing like this much right here, and you don't want to go all the way here because you're gonna need some left for your sides, and so you don't want to go all the way there. So you want to make sure you're going to remove that much to start off. You can also say like, okay, this is gonna be the sharpest point. So do the same thing on the other side. And you're not taking too much off. For this nail, there's more removed on this side, which is okay because there's still some here that you can remove. You didn't remove too much, so it's always better to remove little by little. So now it looks like that. So to make it sharp, you're gonna focus on not your more softer side, but your more coarser side. The 100 grit part is the coarser side. You can obviously see how soft this part is, so that would mean this is your 100 grit part right here. Make sure you have it etched and you don't cut somebody, so remember, buff the sides right here with a buffer or another file like this on each side. Okay, so then you're going to go in and start, because remember, this is gonna look triangular at the bottom. So a triangle's top, say this is the triangle top, right? So then you want to make sure that this is angling this way, like a triangle. Then you want to focus on the other side, even it out, your other side. Go back to the other side, so we're not removing too much off each side. And then you stop and you look and you say, let's see, does it look pretty straight? Is there anything I can do? You can turn it around, you can take a look and say like, oh, this side needs more. For me, this looks pretty good. There's a little bit of excess on this side though. You see that? So I want to remove that. Go in under a little bit to remove it and then back up straight. And then go back in, remove whatever's there. Learn how to use the file to your advantage. All right, let's see. And that looks pretty good. I really like how that came out. I'm telling you, the stiletto starts being super easy to do the more practice you have. So that's our stiletto right there. I love stiletto. So for the coffin, you guys, so we already cut the length. Now we're gonna focus on the shaping of the nail. So in order for you to get a coffin, if you pay attention, a square, you wanna keep it straight up and down like this. But with a coffin, you're kind of making an angle like this, like you're trying to create a stiletto, but you're not. It's kind of like you're going in a little more. Tip it to the side a little bit. And remove some. We didn't have to cut anything because this is a coffin, so we can use this to remove a little bit of the tips like this, just so that you have somewhat of understanding of how much you're removing. You see that? So we removed a little bit. That means you're gonna go in to straighten it out to that area to align to it. Do the bottom, do the top, because you really want it to come in like a ballerina shoe or kind of like a coffin, and you want it not to be square, you want it to look more like it's going in. You're focusing on evening out the bottom. Then I'm going to turn it around, look at if it's straight, and straighten it out. And then take it vertical to me and remove some of that bottom as well. It's kind of like I'm focusing a little bit on that middle part. You take off that excess right there. All right, and that's your coffin nail right there. For the almond nail, I'm gonna remove just like I did for the stiletto on the sides. Not going all the way up here, but focusing on this part up to here. So now we have a pre-shaped almond. You're gonna want to take your file, stay with the 100 grit side. Focus on the sides first to bring them in. Go side to side and keep it straight up and down. Well, not straight like this, but go side to side, one side to the other. And then pay attention to how much you're removing off each side. I have already removed most of the side of this side that I needed to. So now we're gonna remove a little bit more on this side. But we are not bringing it to a sharp point. So pay attention to that. And so far we got this. I think that's pretty even. So now we can go ahead and focus on making sure that the bottom of this almond nail is not pointed but a bit rounded, but coming to an even point in a sense, just not sharp. Kind of blending it to even out and smoothing out the bottom so it's a little bit rounded, not like a stiletto where it will come to an extreme point. So that is the almond nail, super easy as well. It's really, if you pay attention, all of these shapes have something in common. You focus on one side, then to the other, then you stop and you focus on the opposite side again, and then on the other, so that you're not focusing too much on one side and messing up one side more than the other. I hope this video helps with shaping. The next video I will be showing you guys acrylic application. Bye guys.